From Diversity Day to Dinner Party to Dwight's Christmas, and everything before, after, and in between. Welcome to Bears Beats Bobbleheads Talkin' Office, the weekly podcast where three brave souls dissect, discuss, and debate each and every episode of The Office in order from pilot to finale. We sincerely hope you enjoy the experience.
This is not The Office theme.
It's a completely different song, I hope you can tell.
This is not The Office theme.
It's a completely different song, I hope that the lawyers can tell. 'Cause if not, we're fucked. Hello and welcome to Bears Beats Bobbleheads Talking Office. And we are at the Season 1 finale. Season 1, Episode 6, Hot Girl. First aired April 26, 2005. Written by Kelly herself, Mindy Kaling. And directed by, I don't know if either of you caught this, Amy Heckerling, director of Fast Times at Ridgemont High and Clueless.
Oh, wow. No, I did not catch that.
That's quite a get.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I knew that, but then I forgot it, and then I looked up the credits, and holy shit, it's Amy Heckerling. I know that name. So, yeah, like I said, fun fact, I wouldn't say she really changed the dynamic of the show in any discernible way, but just a cool little factoid, I guess. So let's start as we are now starting our shows. Everybody, give your favorite moment from the episode. We're going to start off positive. That's our new modus operandi here. So, Joe, what is your favorite moment from the episode Hot Girl?
It's when Roy's grilling Jim about like what kind of women he likes, and Jim starts saying he's into moms. And my favorite is Kevin. We hear Kevin say, "Stay away from my mom," and Jim's like, "Too late, Kevin."
Yeah, he's into soccer moms, NASCAR moms, pretty much any kind of mom. Jim is all in. All right, Paul, what is your favorite moment from Hot Girl?
My favorite moment is when Jim convinces Dwight to go talk to the hot girl, and then he and Pam are making up what how the conversation is going, and Dwight is slamming purses and trying to step in them.
Yes, definitely step in and out of it like that.
Yeah, that's my favorite moment of the episode.
Oh, that is a good one. Damn. My favorite moment, I think, would be when I don't know why this makes me laugh every time, but it does. It's a Pam and Michael moment. I know we talk a lot about how uncomfortable they are interacting sometimes, but this is one of the funnier ones that just made me laugh. I didn't feel like there was any sort of like groaning to it. It's when Pam enters the office and Michael goes, "Pam, burgers with cheese and fries and shake." Like as she's trying to talk, he keeps interrupting her and adding to the order. I don't know why. That just makes me laugh. It's one of those things.
No, I was laughing at that as well. Yes, I will agree with you.
So, okay, let's start talking about what happens in Hot Girl, shall we? Let's start at the top. We open with Michael building some kind of a pencil wall on his keyboard or something, and we find out Jan's on the line and asks if he's been listening, and it's clear that he was not.
Very clear.
And we find out that what Jan has to repeat is that corporate has allocated $1,000 for a prize to go to the salesman of the month. And Michael, of course, tries to figure out if there's a way for him to get this prize because he was such a great salesman in the past. But she shoots that shit down right quick.
And then he plays it off like, "Well, I wasn't talking about me."
Damn it, Michael.
Classic Michael. Then we get a scene where Michael's asking, what motivates people? I thought this was kind of funny. He's got Dwight in the room with him, and Dwight, of course, feels like he should answer this question. And his response, sex. Which Michael points out is illegal. So what's the next best thing? Torture.
Torture. Oh, my God. For a guy who eats Count Chocula, he's got a lot of problems.
I would love to read a psychological analyzation on Dwight. He would have a fascinating series of ailments.
Yes.
Yeah.
Pam tells Michael that there's a person who wants to sell handbags. Michael at first dismisses this because of the office's no vendors policy until he sees that the person is in fact the very good-looking Katie, played by a yet-to-break-out Amy Adams. Paul, what did you think when you saw Amy Adams all of a sudden there?
I was like, wait, was Amy Adams a thing at this point?
Not so much.
Not so much. No. I was a little thrown off by the timing of it, but I do not hate when I see Amy Adams on my TV or my movies.
Agreed. I like Amy Adams. So Michael's talking to Katie, and this is all kinds of awkward. And he says, "You're like the new and improved Pam 6.0."
And he does it right in front of her.
Oh, yeah. No filter.
No filter. Can we just say Pam gets beat the hell up in this episode?
Kevin certainly doesn't help the situation.
No.
Oh, no.
No. What does he say?
She's so much better looking than you.
Yeah. She's like, that's a very rude thing to say. And she's right. That is a super rude thing to say. Katie asks for coffee and shit gets weird.
Yeah, Michael goes overboard on this request.
His whole thing, he gloms onto this coffee thing and like even comes back to it. You know, you little greedy little thing, you like your coffee. It's just the whole flirtation around coffee is just bad form and gross all around.
Michael flirting is gross and bad form all around. Let me just, can I just say that?
You can. Purse Girl, as many call her, hits everything on Dwight's checklist, including amazing breasts, but not for him, for his children, because the Schrutes produce very thirsty babies.
Again, this is kind of building that this family history of Dwight. I think this is like the first time, or one of the first times he's talked about the Schrute family, as in like they have like superhuman abilities.
Yes, yeah, he referenced their super or superior genes with the healthcare episode and why he doesn't care about the healthcare plan. But yeah, it's definitely a running gag is him talking about, and some of it is just fucked up too.
Well, it's been fucked up so far.
It gets far worse.
I just want to ask you guys, just kind of jump back a little bit. What do you guys think of the magazines Michael subscribes to? Small Businessman?
And like an in-flight magazine?
Yeah, and USA Today. Yeah, he's like talking about like some actress where she eats when she's in Phoenix, Arizona.
Oh, Christ.
So Michael introduces Katie to Toby. And when Toby and Katie realize they went to the same high school and start making small talk and hitting it off, Michael is quick to point out that Toby just got divorced.
As a kid.
And that he spent one night in his car.
You guys were not kidding that Michael hates Toby.
Oh, this is one of the tamer interactions, dude. This is one of the tamer ones because at the end he's said, "Oh, the cute little kid." It gets worse.
Oh, this is just a taste of Michael's rage. It's never. It's palpable how much he hates Toby.
Paul, let me put it to you this way: as bad and terrible as he is to other people,
mm-hmm.
a lot of that edge gets taken off, starting with, I'd say, second season, maybe a little bit into it, and it seems to get refocused, and it all gets honed in on Toby. I think that's the best way to describe it. Like, that gets amplified, and everything else gets de-amplified.
Oh, shit. Okay. All right. Yes. I'm looking forward to that.
With that, I think we should take our first break before we start talking about interactions with the Purse Girl, especially the Dwight one we were talking about earlier. We'll revisit that because that's hilarious. But we will be right back in a minute to continue talking Hot Girl here on Bears Beats Bobbleheads Talking Office. If you're enjoying our Office podcast, be sure to check out Cast That Movie, the podcast where Paul and I, using our superhero aliases, revisit failed cinematic projects from the past and try to remedy what went wrong by submitting our choices for a new cast and a new director. We then conjure up a dream project of a film we would like to see made, and we cast that as well. We debate and defend our choices and have an all-around good time. In our latest episode, we tackled 2012's John Carter. We then give our picks for a live-action film based on the documentary The King of Kong, and holy shit do things get weird. For cinephiles and pop culture geeks alike, be sure to check out Cast That Movie on iTunes, Spotify, SoundCloud, YouTube, and now on Google Podcasts as well. Or you can just visit us at our home at thejoedown.blog. Welcome back to Bears Beats Bobbleheads Talkin' Office. We are on Season 1, Episode 6, the Season 1 finale, Hot Girl, with special guest Amy Adams. So let's go back to what we were talking about earlier. This is your favorite moment, Paul, I believe?
Yes, it's my favorite moment.
Jim convinces Dwight to hit on Purse Girl by also convincing him that purses are for guys too now. Because of GQ.
Because he reads GQ magazine. Really? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Even those kind? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, and he and Pam watch, as you described earlier, watch the scene unfold and do their own little narrative, which is hilarious.
Hilarious.
And then Dwight ends up buying a purse, walking out with it strapped across his shoulder.
And giving Jim the thumbs up. I love how Jim and Pam fuck with Dwight so hard.
Michael interrupts Pam and Katie yet again with a Divine Sisters Secrets of the Yaya Sisterhood reference.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
He just doesn't get it.
No.
And then he shows Purse Girl, Hot Girl, Amy Adams, Katie, the new digital barista that he bought, which is the incentive prize for sales.
Yes, he spent $1,000 on an espresso machine for a fucking Purse Girl.
You know, I want to change my favorite moment because I forgot about this, but I think my favorite moment was Michael discussing Dunder Mifflin in the 80s before anyone knew cocaine was bad.
Yes.
Man, did they move paper.
It's like, back in the 80s, before people knew cocaine was bad. In the 80s?
I know. Well, all right. So Katie's ride bails on her. So she reluctantly accepts a ride from Michael after the workday is over. So he's all excited about that. And he reads way too much into her accepting his seemingly innocent offer. And that's where it just got, you know, we always talk about it getting cringy. It's kind of been a go-to word we've used to describe things. But him thinking that meant something more than just giving her a ride, and that was a lot.
It was a lot. It was a lot. Yeah, it was very just gross, really. I mean, especially now after the Me Too movement and things like that. Like, I doubt this episode would have been written the way it was if they did it today.
Absolutely. But I did think one line, I thought it was really funny when Michael asked Pam, how do girls your age feel about futons?
And then Jim and Pam are making fun of him for having a futon.
Yes.
But what do they say? What does Jim say? It could be innovative. He could be innovative. It's a couch and a bed.
Oh, man. Well, so for the second episode in a row, Pam and Roy flirt hardcore in front of Jim.
And this hurts Jim. It's very obvious.
Dwight asks Katie out, and she firmly says no.
No, he asked if he could talk to her in private. And she says no. And then he asks her out. And she says no. And he said, is that no to talking in private, or is that no for the dating?
Both.
Both. Michael recruits Ryan to help him clean out his Sebring and all the Filet-O-Fish's boxes that he has.
It's from over months, Ryan.
And is this, what flavor is it? Blue. Blue's not a flavor. It says Blast Blue. Oh, that goes in the trunk. And I want the Arctic Blast in the passenger car.
Jim decides to go for it, though, with Katie. He gets up and starts to flirt with her, and they seem to hit it off really well. And he's a charming dude.
Charming, and he's a good-looking dude. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's a total package.
Yep.
Jim tells Pam that he's got a date with Katie after this, and she seems happy for him.
On face, yeah, but you can see she's not very happy about it. Later on, we kind of see her putting on the lip gloss to try to, like, make herself more appealing, I think.
Yeah.
So I think it's her that he did that, but I mean, she's not single.
Now, isn't this? I correct me if I'm wrong. I believe it's this episode as well, where just earlier, when she's talking to the camera, she describes that she loves Jim like a brother.
Mm-hmm. Yes. This was that episode, and that she wants him to find somebody. But does she really? I mean, is it one of those things where because he hasn't, like, there's a comfort zone with her there, but once Katie enters the picture, I don't know. We'll get back to that though, because the ending has a little bit further things to talk about regarding that. So let's revisit the Jim and Pam in a bit. Actually, no. Let's revisit it right now because it's the next thing on my notes. All right. As Katie gets into Jim's car and they flirt, Pam looks on. And yeah, this is what I wanted to reference is kind of the end. Like the look she gives, she's not looking at him like, oh, I'm so happy for my brother. There's something else there. Definitely something else there.
She looks sad. She looks just depressed. Like she does not want to be in that truck with Roy. She wants to be in the Corolla with Jim.
Well, the Corolla is an amazing vehicle.
But here's the thing. Does she know? I mean, has she really fully admitted that to herself yet is the question. Because I don't know. I mean, you grow up in the same town, you date the same guy since high school. I mean, I'm not going to try to put myself in the position of a woman, but I'm just saying, like, this could go both ways as far as relationships are concerned. Is she still learning this about herself, that she might have feelings for Jim, or is she just compartmentalizing them, or is she just ignoring them, or just pushing them down as hard as she can? I mean, it's hard to know exactly where she's at on that.
I think because she flirts with Jim in the office, and that's kind of her outlet for this. But I think she's kind of lying to herself a bit that about her feelings for Jim. And then when she sees him with somebody else, she's starting to realize that she may have made a huge mistake. Right.
Yeah, Paul, with you not knowing how any of this plays out, you might have some ideas. It's hard not to know some plot points, but I mean,
no, I don't know the plot points. I really don't.
Oh, okay, great. So what is your take then on the Jim and Pam thing, like, and Pam's awareness of her own feelings?
So I'm going to go psychological on this. Like, I'm going to evaluate it like if I thought they were real people and I was having a conversation, someone came to me and was talking to me about being in this particular situation. I would challenge that person and say, you're in a position where you are happy because they're single and you get the emotional attention from them at work, and you have no fear of someone else coming in and ruining that relationship. And when he went with Katie, now you're starting to feel anxiety because now you're looking at this relationship that you've had with Jim, and it's changing your perspective on what is occurring between you two, because now you have someone that could legitimately change the way that you two are interacting with each other. And that's causing you jealousy, bringing maybe feelings that maybe you don't actually have, but just that jealousy is going, I don't want this to change for me. That would be my take on it.
All right, so finishing it up here, we end the season with Michael talking about how he doesn't need to be picking up cows and bars for one-night stands because his employees are all he needs. With them, it's like an everyday stand.
God.
Such a weird thing to say, man.
And his behavior does not back up this statement at all.
No, he's playing it up for the camera. In his mind, this is like some epic moment in the documentary. Michael has a lot of these moments where he's thinking he's going to have some sort of profound moment in this documentary that they're filming, and almost every time it's just nonsense.
Yep.
Yeah, this reeks to me of someone that would is completely kind of trying to put on a delusional. They're deluding themselves, deluding themselves. I almost did a Goonies reference there, and it thinks that they are being like that they're putting up the mask properly, and he's totally not. Like, you can just tell he's devastated, and this is just a way that he's trying to self-comfort himself and make himself believe something that's just not there.
Yeah, because we didn't even really, I guess I kind of skipped this beat here, but yeah, I mean, Katie leaving with Jim means she doesn't leave with Michael, and, he has a reaction to that. He does play it off like, oh, cool, yep. But yeah, as he's getting into his Sebring and doesn't even want to deal with the camera at that point, yeah, it obviously affected him, but you can't feel bad for him because he made something out of something that wasn't there and got all creepy and gross about it. And it's like, once again, just like with basketball, in the end, he kind of gets his comeuppance, right?
Mm-hmm. And I would say that 3 people end this episode miserable. That'd be Michael, Dwight, and Pam.
Yeah. Yeah. Aren't you excited to jump into season 2 now?
Oh, boy.
Am I the only one who noticed?
Of Cheers.
Am I the only one who noticed how dark Scranton gets at 5 p.m.?
Yeah. What time is it now?
They're leaving the office. It's like pitch black.
All right. Well, with that, I think we've covered it all on Hot Girl. So we will be right back and give our final takeaways for Hot Girl and the season, as well as who we felt had the best showing for the episode, the MVP, if you will. And then we will get Paul's running tally on who he sees as his favorite character and his favorite episode to date. We'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Paul Muad'Dib, one half of the group that does Podcasts Above a Convenience Store, Talkin Twin Peaks, where myself, along with Joe Fremming, dig into the Twin Peaks TV show, the movie, and the books, and the history. As a matter of fact, the latest one is going to be The Secret History of Twin Peaks. So if you enjoy the banter that we have here on the Office Podcast, be sure to check us out on Podcasts Above a Convenience Store, Talking Twin Peaks, which is on Spotify, iTunes, SoundCloud, or you can find us at our webpage home, thejoedown.blog.
All right, welcome back to Bears Beats Bobbleheads Talking Office, and we are tying up the last episode of the first season, Hot Girl, Season 1, Episode 6. Let us give our takes of the episode, who we felt won it. Joel, let's start with you.
Yeah, this is a rough one to think who won it. It's pretty down all around, and like how people end up. For me, this is a Jim. At least he finds happiness in this episode, so I'll give this episode to Jim.
Man, I don't want to agree with you again. I always agree with you, Joe. But yeah, I would agree with you, Jim. The last couple episodes, again, I cited the flirting that Roy and Pam do right in front of them. Krasinski does a great job of showing how that is very, very awkward for a person in that position. So, even if it's just, it's not a rebound, of course, but it's that mentality that he's pursuing Katie with, because he still obviously wants Pam. But the acting, I think, of Krasinski is what will make me give it to him. And yeah, the episode, it's not a classic. It's a weird one to end a season on, in my eyes. There's a little bit of a grand ending to it, I guess, but yeah, it feels strange, and it's a weird one to end when you're very unsure that you're going to be making any more episodes. All right, Paul, how about you?
I'm going to agree with you guys. I'm going to say Jim. He obviously didn't leave with a mom, but he left with someone. He got someone.
At least it wasn't Kevin's mom.
Yeah, at least it wasn't Kevin's mom, although I would have given him a bigger win had it been Kevin's mom. I think that, this is a real downer of an episode. I mean, they really ended this not knowing if there was going to be a next season. It really feels like they didn't have a lot of faith in going into a second season. They were just like, whatever.
They didn't, by the way. They didn't. They pretty much everybody, except, ironically, Carell, and you got this off that podcast too, right, Joe? Carell was really the only one that believed this was good for the long haul. Pretty much everybody else in the cast was thinking this was a 6-episode, 1-season thing that would fizzle out.
Yeah, absolutely. The second season was it was an uphill battle. We can talk about it when we get to it next week, but it was like, at times it was like week to week based on ratings if they'll be able to get more episodes or not.
Right. So yeah, that's good. So then what was your running tally here? Who is, I'm assuming Jim then still is your favorite if he won the episode and he was in the lead.
Okay. So knowing what I know about television, I'm starting to feel a turn here with Jim. I think that this thing with Purse Girl and Hot Girl is going to do something with his confidence, and he's going to start coming off like I'm not going to like him. That's just a guess.
But as of now, you would say he's still your favorite character?
As of now, as of this season, he is my favorite character of the season.
Okay, and then what about your favorite episode? Is it still then The Alliance?
Yeah, this was nowhere near my favorite episode.
Got it. Okay, and then before we go then, as we're tying up the season, Paul, do you have any other overarching observations that you want to add before we jump into season 2 next week?
So, I'm starting to see more that they're slowly bringing in other elements of the office itself, of the building, of the company. Mm-hmm. With the warehouse people, and kind of slowly building these threads as we're still getting used to people that are in the office, and they're slowly starting to drip people from other aspects in. So I'm starting to kind of get the vibe that they're going to open more, and that more of these side characters are going to start opening up. I felt there was a lot of hidden on that foreshadowed on that, in basketball.
Yeah, you would be correct on that. Joe, any observations you want to add as we wrap up the first season?
It was interesting rewatching this season. Paul, it gets a little what Greg Daniels says going into season 2. It gets about 20% more sunnier compared to what we see here. But overall, it has some solid episodes, but it's not my favorite season of The Office. But it does have one of my favorite episodes, which is Diversity Day. So.
Yep, and I'm with you there. I honestly, I said it on the first episode we did that I usually skip the pilot. Well, in reality, when I rewatch, oftentimes I just go right to season 2. I mean, you have your diversity day, you have your alliance. Those are both solid. I liked healthcare enough, but these last 2 episodes, Basketball and Hot Girl, are down there as far as the episode rankings for me. So yeah, I'm super. I can't even tell you, Paul, how excited I am for you to watch season 2, episode 1, The Dundies, which will be our next episode.
Okay.
I think you're going to see a lot of changes, and yes, you are going to see a lot of characters kind of break out. Even ones are going to have some breakout moments that you probably don't see coming, and it starts with that episode.
Okay. All right. I'm looking forward to it. Absolutely. And if I may, I just want to say, these last 2 episodes felt like they were trying to shift back from what they did in Diversity Day and Alliance and Healthcare and get back to what the UK version was. I don't know if there's any validity to that, but just what the way it felt to me.
I don't think that was a concerted effort by any means, but I can see where you would feel that because, we talked about it, especially with basketball. I think, Joe, you pointed it out. It felt like more of a hearkening back to the Michael Scott doing a David Brent type bit.
Yeah, and part of me also thinks like maybe these episodes are written down as more of downbeat, maybe because they weren't even sure if they're going to come back. There might be something like just that coming out in the writing.
Oh, a little bit of a bitterness or something like that.
Yeah. I mean, it's bound to happen in a creative project. So maybe that I'm just spitballing on that. But I could see like if I was a writer and like not sure, I really love this project and nobody seems to like it. I would be a little frustrated.
Yes, absolutely. Okay, well, that does it then for season 1 of The Office. We did it. We are 1 season down, 8 to go. 8 much longer seasons to go. And we are done then with season 1, episode 6, Hot Girl. But we are going to be back next week, and we are going to jump into one of my favorite episodes, definitive classic by most people's standards, season 2, episode 1, The Dundies. Until then, he is Joe, he is Paul, I am Scott, and I really hope you join us for The Dundies next week. Goodbye. For more podcasts like this one and general pop culture tomfoolery, be sure to visit thejoedown.blog. That's thejoedown.blog.